I wanted to share a little bit what I've learned about this BlazeKing Princess stove. This is my sixth winter with it, and it's more than just putting wood in this thing. It's a really efficient stove. It'll heat the house pretty good when everything is right. But that's what I wanted to talk about. What is right is that stovepipe has to be cleaned. Not really daily, certainly not daily, but occasionally. And a good sign that I have learned when it needs to be cleaned is when you open the door, when you flip the lever back, remove the catalytic converter from where it's positioned, that's really when it heats the house best, is when that thing is in place. But when you flip that out of the way and you go to put wood in and smoke comes out, that means that stack is starting to get clogged up. You're not going to see a lot of smoke always. Sometimes I thought it was more just heat coming out. The smoke alarm was going off because there's one right above it up on the ceiling. But let me show you something here. That dial right there, it's just to the left of the halfway point. It's supposed to be right here before you activate it. But what I started doing, that's how you flip that lever back. That's in place with the catalytic converter in place. When it's back, when it's above that point right there where you can turn it on, that's when it really starts getting hot. So if it's hanging around that point and you flip it, it'll make it hotter in here. It's just more efficient. But what I started doing, I didn't understand the stove really. So what I would do when the house was heating up, I wanted to get it warmer in here faster. So I'd flip it back early and it ended up clogging it up. So in the middle of winter, when you want a warm house, you're not getting a warm house because it's not efficient. So what I did the other day, it was before this winter actually got going good. It was still kind of cold, but I had a fire going in here. Smoke was coming out. So what I did, I burned all the wood out. I dumped all the coals in that bucket right there. And I was going to set them outside to try and save them to restart the fire. And it started melting the paint. Paint started bubbling up on the bucket. So the bucket's still good. It's not, it made me think, Dad, goes that thing plastic? But it's not. But it peeled the paint off because it was so hot. So I had to dump that out. Anyway, get all the coals out of the stove and open the door and let it cool off as quick as you can. Get the house as warm as you can before you do that was the point. And anyway, I try to monitor that closer because it's like it wasn't sucking air in like it normally does under normal conditions with the stovepipes, clogged. And a good way to tell if it's clogged is if you're like that. It's moving pretty good right now. The stove is the pipe is open. That's just one piece of wood. I'm kind of doing an experiment, see, writing the temperature down and how long that wood will last and how much it affects the temperature in the house. Trying to make notes which is a better way to do it, if there is a better way to do it. But anyway, if you flip that thing back, after it's in that spot, it stands a lot better chance of it lasting longer. That the catalytic converter looks like it's a fire brick with holes in it, but little bitty holes, almost like pencil lead size holes, maybe a little bit bigger than a pencil lead, but little bitty holes in it, so it clogs up easy. And the chimney sweep dude, the first time he came out, he just flips it out. He reaches in there and pulls all that stuff down. I didn't see what he was doing, but I've laid on my back and looked at it. There's like a metal grating over the front of it. You got to take off to access the catalytic converter, but I don't want it falling. But I think you push it out from the back and it comes out in your hand, and he would vacuum it out. So what I'll do with the stove cool and everything, I'll lay on my back, put my wine from my shop vac up there and suck it out. And it worked pretty good. But what was weird was doing the stove. The first time I put my stove cleaner thing up the stove, I think it came off, but it was my first year here, and it was after the winter, so I had to call the chimney sweep. I was trying to save myself some money is what I was trying to do. I had to call the chimney sweep to come out here, and he crawled up on top and pushed it down. We recovered that. So what I did, I took some wire and I run around the little ball on the end that throws the wires around and knocks all that stuff off, because I don't want it coming off. I don't want to have to repeat that process. So I've got wire connecting the little sections together to where if it does come undone, I can still pull it down, is the point of that. But I've got another one that screws in, that one right there on the floor, screws in, but that has the big wire ball, and I can't get it through that crack up there. When I put the wand in, I've got to go through the crack opening into the stack, get it through that crack, and then bend it farther to get it up the stack, and then it goes in because that stuff flexes. But the secret is that bar, that catalytic converter, let it get hot, because that'll save you a lot of headache. And when you can tell when it starts getting clogged up, either the catalytic converter, when you flip it backwards and the fire starts choking down. It's not from the air coming in, because it's got good airflow coming in. It's being restricted going up, so that's the sign it's starting to get clogged up. So if, like in the middle of winter, you might want to catch a warmer day, like 0 instead of 20 below. Get the house just as hot as you can. Let the coals burn out, move them, open the door and let the stove cool down, and run that brush up there to clean all that stuff out, and vacuum that catalytic converter out too, however you take it out or whatever you want to do. But what I did this last time when I cleaned it out, I don't take that stack off. When the chimney sweep comes out, he'll disconnect it there at the bottom, and we'll lift that up and pull the stove out. He'll put a rag under, or garbage bag under it. He'll run that thing through there to catch all that dust. I have a shop vac run to catch any, the bag will catch the creosote, and the shop vac will catch the dust that's coming out. Well, I didn't do that, so all the creosote fell in there. There's like a plate where the catalytic converter flips back and blocks, but it wasn't resting all the way down, so I had to let the fire cool off again, reach my hand in there, and it was usually on the left side. You can feel it, and you can just knock it all down. Now it works pretty good. But that's what I've learned about this stove. And it's more than just putting wood in the stove. I'm going to see how long this thing lasts. And then what they do too is, on a cold night, if you want a fire lasting all night long, put your biggest piece sideways and all the way to the back, because the air goes in from the front and it comes like in an angle diagonally up towards the exhaust, which is on the top of the stove. So back there in the back was like an there's no airflow. It's minimal airflow. So it'll usually be there in the morning. Usually it's coals or whatever. And you turn your dial down to your airflow. You want it to kind of get you through the night. Or if it was like really cold, I might set my alarm for every 3 or 4 hours and come put wood on it. You know, when it's 40 below here in Alaska, it's cold out. In the house, it's hard to keep warm. But anyway, I just wanted to share my little thoughts on this stove. It's an efficient stove. And you can tell, I mean, it wasn't that cold when I started the fire, when when I had to clean the stovepipe out. And it was taking too long, like 4 hours to get the house warm. And when that fire is going, you put the wood in there and it'll take off. It'll heat this house pretty quick, but you got to have airflow is the main thing. And the two things you got to watch out for is that stack and that catalytic converter.